Deep within each person is stillness, a reservoir of safe, unbridled emptiness from which bubbles eternal joy. All things that arise from the joy are one with the joy. If you struggle, you are one with the joy. If you are in pain, you are one with the joy. Everything is joy masquerading as two. This is the whole point of non-duality. Non-duality is the one masquerading itself as the two. There is the apparent self. There is Elliot. For a long time I am even today, I still dip in and out of the duality systems in believing that I am two, in believing that I am this unique individual person that sits here and speaks to you, that there is an Elliot who lives in New York City, who lives in Midtown, that there is a person here who has an address who gets mail. All that stuff apparently exists. But behind all of that, there is only stillness. There is only that which can be, that which is not spoken, is from which all arises. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm kind of blabbling here a little bit, but the immensity gets close to it. The movement. There is nothing but utter, deafening silence. And out of the silence arises chair. Each thing in the room is oneness arising as form. And, my take on this experience is that when a person, no one exists. To make that clear, there is no form, there is no Elliot. This is not Elliot coming up with phrases to say. This is vesselship. This is getting out of the way to let speak the truth. That when there is, but there is an idea of Elliot. There is an idea. There is an idea of Elliot, and when that idea of Elliot becomes so concrete that I believe that I am him, that is when I get into trouble. When I get in the way of the transmission of oneness to achieve false stability, that is when I get into trouble. Because then there is an I. There is no I. There is only stillness. There is only what is. There is only pure, unadulterated love, pure joy, pure being, pure essence. Pure essence, pure essence. I walk in here as Elliot. I play the game as Elliot, but I am not Elliot. I walk in here, I sit down at the chair. There is chairing, there is walking, there is a body here, but there is no Elliot. There is oneness. There is the sensation of being used as a vessel. And that's also where this idea of free will becomes impossible. Because if I am only but an expression of oneness, that expression is lived through me. The me has no choice. The me cannot make decisions. The me is as the oneness expresses itself. All things are that expression. This body is a manifestation of silence. A manifestation of silence. And so the work then becomes, how can one clear away the wreckage of the me that keeps us from the recognition of the inner silence, of the many, of the one. I'm looking across the room and there is a fridge, a refrigerator, and the refrigerator and me share the same consciousness. This wall, the wall is oneness walling. I am oneness appearing as form. There is no separation. This is the key point here. There is no separation. There is only the totality. There is only oneness. It really can't be described. Oneness gets close to it. Love gets close to it. But there is always about an inch of separation between the words and the experience, because it points to something that is larger and more fundamental and more immense. The immensity is a great word for this. There is just more to it than can be conceived, and it also is the foundation upon which all that is experienced takes place. It's like you can't see the back of your head. You can't, kiss your own lips. Alan Watts talks a lot about that. This, what comes to me is the reckoning. The reckoning. It's like, Tony Parsons says, wow. That's really what it is. It's this feeling of merge. It's the sensation of, it's the relaxation. It's the coming home. And in the deep parts of it, it's really intrinsically, it's the death of all things. It's the death of conception. It's the death of the me. I don't know. How am I feeling today? Today was powerful. I spent a lot of time with my friend, and it's always surprising to me. The amount of simplicity that can occur in converging energies. When I'm with somebody else who is either intended or on the journey towards the stillness is more apparent for me. It's something very powerful. It's powerful to experience the stillness and to not have to go towards the stillness. I think so much of my experience is the gripping of the seeker. And the thing is, with these teachings and with this teaching that I'm experiencing most profoundly now, which is kind of through Tony Parsons, mostly in this moment, that's what is appearing in my life. It's amazing how that seeker is the thing that keeps me from the message, from the story. The seeker is the thing that I'm seeking the sought, and the sought can't be sought because the sought is what is. What I'm looking for is already what makes up the totality of all things, and therefore it cannot be sought. It can only be experienced. It can't even be experienced. It can only be known. It can't even be known. It can only be